Hello everyone and welcome to my spring Cat-Walk TBR. Yes, I also want to do these seasonally, and then when I play my monthly boards, then I will try to pull the books from that I pulled for seasonal, and then obviously pull books in as if the books I picked for the seasonal don't fit the monthly TBR props. So, what I'm going to do, so the last time I played this, I only played on the challenge board. I want to incorporate the actual seasonal board. So we're going to start off on the seasonal board. If I get a double, we'll move to the challenge board. If I get a double, we'll move back to the seasonal board. Will I do this the next time I play? Who knows? It seems like I'm always making changes on something like that. So anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and just get right into the rolls, because who knows how long this will be. As a reminder, I start out with 10 rolls, and it could definitely be at least 10 books. I do not do color cards for these particular ones. For the seasonal ones, only for the regular monthly do I add in the challenge of the color cards. But we're starting out with 10 rolls. That does not mean it will only be 10 books. It could be quite a bit bigger than that, which is perfectly fine. So let's go ahead and get into these rolls. Okay, so here is the springboard. I don't know if you'll occasionally see Polly's tail because she is sitting right there. I am moving her tail right now, so it's, yep, it'll be, nope, there she goes. Okay, all right, so I've got my dice, but we need to do a random number generator to see where I'll be starting on this board. So I'm pulling up a random, Googling a random number generator. Okay, I have, so the number is 3, and I have 30 spots on this board, so I'm going to change the maximum to 30. Okay, and starting on space number 13. So, space, let's change this to kind of an orangey color. Space number 13. Here's a little bit of Molly, or Polly. 13 is right here. Hey, your butt's in the way, girl. What are you doing? You know, you can't, that's one place you can't get. You're not going to be able to fit. Come here. Go up there. There you go. Now you got a bird's eye view. Okay. Now with Polly taken care of, let's get this back. Okay, so there we go. All right, got Polly taken care of. She now is on the top of this cat tree. She's got a bird's eye view. Let's go with the pink dice. I know we just played for that in February, but it's very springy to me as far as all the other colors go, so let's go with that. We don't need to use this one because we already know what board we're playing with. Okay. All right. All right, let's go now for roll number 1 for the spring TBR. Okay, moving 11 spots with a 6 and a 5, if I can pick that up to show you. So 6 and a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. April showers. Roll number 1 landed on April showers. This is to read a book that has water on the cover. For this one, I am going with I think this is a cozy mystery, and it is the first in a series, but this one is Deadly Nightshade by Cynthia Riggs. So there's water, a boat out to sail there, and then there's water right there. And this, when I was in my room looking for a book with water on the cover, I just went over to my book cart, picked up a book. This is what I picked up. And so it's the first book I picked up. And I was like, oh, there's water on the cover. All right. So this works. Okay. So this is book number 1 in a Martha's Vineyard mystery. So it's at least a mystery. I think it's a cozy mystery. But this is, again, written by Cynthia Riggs. Martha's Vineyard has been home to Victoria Trumbull for most of her 92 years. Its magic, history, and picture-perfect calm are part of her very being. But one evening, Victoria hears something that doesn't quite belong. A scream, followed by a splash, and the sound of a car speeding away. She investigates and discovers a body on the outgoing tide. Despite interruptions from her granddaughter Elizabeth, Domingo the harbor master, a swarm of island locals, and a few mysterious visitors, Victoria manages to get in a good bit of detective work and still finds time to cook her traditional Saturday night supper of Boston baked beans. She even concocts a scheme to trap the killer, but she'll need to act quickly. Victim number 2 has just been found. Polly came and played with that, so I had to reposition. All right, roll number 2. Moving 8 spots with a 6 and a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Roar. Prompt number 2 was roar. This is to read a book with a predatory animal on the cover. So meat eating is my line of thought, so any herbivores would not count. I mean, they're predatory in the way of like guarding their home or something like that, so I could ultimately stretch it to that, but my thought is more meat eating. So sharks, birds that dive for fish, that type of thing. So as long as it's not the lowest animal on the totem pole as far as more vulnerable, as long as the animal has something under it that it eats, like in the case of the book that I picked, it eats mice and birds, spiders. So I'm going to go with the Traveling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arikawa. It's not the journey that counts, but who is at your side. Nana is on a road trip, but he is not sure where to. All that matters is that he can sit beside his beloved Satoru in front of his silver van. Satoru is keen to visit 3 old friends from his youth, though Nana doesn't know why Satoru won't say. Set against the backdrop of Japan's changing seasons and narrated with a rare gentleness and striking humor, Nana's story explores the wonder and thrill of life's unexpected detours. It is about friendship, solitude, and knowing when to give and when to take. Above all, it shows how acts of love, both great and small, can transform our lives. So, the Traveling Cat Chronicles. Okay, going for roll number 3. Moving 5 spots with a 3 and a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Easter. Number 3 is Easter. This is to read a book with food on the cover. My thinking is that Easter, you have the rabbits, they leave goodies, jelly beans, eggs. Those are all things that a lot of kids and a lot of adults eat. I'm not very fond of jelly beans. Depends on the flavor. I'm very picky with that. Anyway, so food. It's food. We consume it. We eat it. It's food. So food on the cover. So I'm going to go with 6 Stunning Sirens by Lynn Cahoon. This is book number 6 in a Cozy Witch mystery series. And this is the most recent one that is out. And the next one comes out this year in 2025. There is a 7th book coming out. So, in a triumph for Mia's catering business and cooking school, Mia's Morsels is chosen to host a fall festival event in their Idaho mountain town, which means managing a bunch of stage moms and their social media obsessed daughters as they get ready for the big beauty contest. There's a lot riding on the results of the Harvest Moon Festival. It's where the winning family receives an inside track to Coven power. But after one stage mom is found dead and another winds up in the hospital, the Coven suspects magical meddling. With a week to go before the coronation of the new queen, Mia must draw on her sleuthing powers to find out what's going on and whether this competition has gotten a little too cutthroat. So this is a cozy mystery series. Okay, roll number 4. Moving 9 spots with a 5 and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Blooming. All right, prompt number 4, we got Blooming. This is to read a new author, a new purchase, or a new series, something along those lines, but it has to be new in some way. So, or maybe it's a new release. I mean, even if you check it out from the library, it's still a new release. I would even count that. This covers a new release, but this one for me also covers a new to me author. So, I am going to go with a library book, and this is Call the Dark by J. Todd Scott. A small white plane hurtles from the sky, vanishing into the wilderness. Hiker Maggie Robbie watches its final descent, certain that no one could have survived. But to her shock, a 15-year-old girl emerges from the wreckage, wounded but miraculously and possibly alive. Maggie approaches with trepidation. She has secrets of her own, a past she can't escape. Saving the girl means risking her future, but she can't just abandon her, can she? With the young survivor, Maggie embarks on a dangerous trek through the remote Appalachian country. Okay. Joining up with 2 veterans from the local sheriff's department who know the land better than anyone. But even as Maggie charts their course through the mountains, she can sense someone or something else is watching and waiting. Their journey is about more than enduring the elements. It's about escaping a sinister presence that makes a vast wilderness feel like it's closing in. Number 5. Moving 4 with a 3 and a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Patrick's Day. Number 5, Patrick's Day. This is to read a book that has green on the cover. So I'm starting another series for this one. And the book I have picked is No Strangers Here by Carlene O'Connor. As you can see, it's got a lot of green. The back says, on a rocky beach in the southwest of Ireland, the body of wealthy racehorse owner Johnny O'Reilly has been discovered. In a town like Dingle, everyone knows a little something about everyone else. But dig a bit deeper, and there's always much more to find. And when Detective Inspector Cormac O'Brien is dispatched out of the Kilnery, to lead the murder inquiry, he's determined to unearth every last buried secret. Dympna Wilde hasn't been home in years, but faced with a triple bombshell. Her mother is rumored to have been in a relationship with Johnny, her father's dementia is escalating, and her brother is avoiding her calls. Dympna moves back to Dingle to clear her family of suspicion. And as she takes over the family practice, she finds herself in a race with the detective inspector to uncover the dark, twisting truth behind murder, no matter how close to home it strikes. Okay, number 6. Moving 7 spots with a 6 and a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mother's Day. Prompt number 6 is Mother's Day. This is to read a book that has a woman on the cover. For this one, I'm going to go with another library book, and this one is Not Quite Dating by Catherine Bybee. So, there she is. Her love is all he wants for Christmas. Working the graveyard shift as a waitress, single mother Jessie Mann has no time to waste on a Texan with big dreams and a skinny wallet. And that's just what she sees when Jack Morrison ambles into the diner where she works. After a childhood of financial instability, Jessie swore she'd do better by her son. But with Christmas just around the corner, saying no to Jack and his cowboy good looks is easier said than done. As the heir to the Morrison luxury hotel empire, Jack Morrison is tired of women drooling over his wealth. He wants a woman who will love him for him, and he thinks he's found her when he meets Jessie. To be sure, he conceals his true identity and offers to help Jessie find the rich husband she seeks. But will Jack's matchmaking game backfire and cost him the ultimate Christmas gift? All right, number 7, I believe, is what we are on. Okay, and there is a double. So, moving 6 spots. But we need to switch to the challenge board. So I'm on space number 27. Okay, here is the challenge board. Space number 27 is right here. So, okay. And again, I rolled a double, so 6 spots, so that's 2 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, outfit. Okay, so this prompt, number 7, is outfit. This is to read a book that is inspired by my current outfit. So as you can see, I have a blue shirt on. I'm actually wearing blue jeans. My socks are blue, my shoes are gray, but the shirt says, please don't ask what I am reading on kind of like a beach scene. Beach is the key word on this one. I'm going to go with, and there is blue on this cover, Beach Read by Emily Henry. So this will be the second Emily Henry that I've read. Augustus Everett is an acclaimed author of literary fiction. January Andrews writes best-selling romance. When she pens a happily ever after, he kills off his entire cast. They're polar opposites. In fact, the only thing they have in common is that for the next 3 months, they're living in neighboring beach houses, broke and bogged down with writer's block. Then, one hazy evening, one thing leads to another, and they strike a deal designed to force them out of their creative ruts. Augustus will spend the summer writing something happy. In January, will pen the next great American novel. She'll take him on field trips worthy of any rom-com montage, and he'll take her to interview surviving members of Backwoods Death Cult, obviously. Everyone will finish a book, and no one will fall in love. Really. So for roll number 7, as you will have seen, I got a double. So, got my TBR cards here, and let's see what I get for the prompt. Okay. Let's go with this one. Okay. Choose the smallest book on your shelf. Okay. All right. So I went looking in my room. So the smallest book on your shelf. And the one that I found is either a short story or a novella, however it is that you classify this one. And the actual story in this one looks like is 126, like 2 sentences onto page 126. So 126 pages, and this one is Blackmailing Benjamin. This is the Rebel Lust Taboo series, book number 2, written by Ophelia Bell. Steamy, the first one. Like, I think erotic is the genre or one of the genre tags. Getting even never felt so good. Cat was raised with Ben, who is one of the biggest jerks she's ever known. She's had to endure his ridicule for a decade, and to top it off, their parents seem to love him more. So, when she catches him in a compromising position during a college frat party, she takes advantage of it, threatening to tell their parents his dirty little secrets in exchange for one tiny favor. Ben gives in to Cat's blackmail, but in the process, Cat finds herself in a situation she never expected she'd be in. She definitely didn't expect to enjoy it so much, and she absolutely never expected to want more. All right, number 8. Okay, moving 9 spots with a 6 and a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Randomize. All right, roll number 8 landed on randomize, and this is a random generator. So, I have my thing of random generators here. I did add one other generator in this. I did a random genre generator, and I did actually find a random genre generator. So I thought that would be fun to incorporate. So who knows if I'll draw that one or not. So let's see. Going with, oh, I got two here, so we're going to drop one of them. That's the one we're going with. Okay, this is not the new one. Random letter. All right, so I'll put this one in the trinket tray so that we can use the other random generators. Now, let's pull up word picture. Here we go. Random letter. So as you can see, it is loading. Okay, so the letter it popped up with is the letter C. So it's this blue one I want to hit. Okay. N like November. Okay, so I need a book where the title starts with the letter N, preferably. Or I can go with the author's name starts with N. So let me go see what I can find. All right, I am back. So for the letter N, like November, I am going to go with the letter in the title. So Nothing Left to Burn by Heather Ezell. This is one that I purchased from a library book sale. The autumn morning after 16-year-old Audrey Harper loses her virginity, she wakes to a loud, persistent knocking at her front door. Waiting for her are two firemen, there to let her know that the moment she's been dreading has arrived. The enormous wildfire sweeping through Orange County, California, is now dangerously close to her idyllic gated community of Coto de Caza, and it's time to evacuate. Ooh. With the California fires going on right now? Okay. Let's see. Over the next 24 hours, as Audrey wrestles with the possibility of losing her family home, she also recalls her early, easy summer days with Brooks, the charming, passionate, but troubled volunteer firefighter who enchants Audrey, and who is just as enthralled by her. But as secrets from Brooks' past come to light, Audrey can't help but wonder if there's danger in the pull she feels, both toward this boy and toward the fire burning in the distance. Number 9. Moving 11 with a 6 and a 5. Sorry, the sun's coming in, so it's the color, the lighting's being kind of funky right now just because the sun's coming in through the window. So 11 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Current read. Prompt number 9 is current read. And this is to pick a book that is inspired somehow. Could be the same author, same genre, similar cover, something on the cover. And that's kind of what I'm going with. But it's inspired by the book that I'm currently reading, which is Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett. So there's two ways I'm going to make this work. One, there's fire on the cover, and there is fire on the cover of the book that I picked. And when I was looking at Goodreads and I scrolled to the bottom, it said, readers also enjoyed, and this author was listed in that. So, and that author is John Gwynne. I really want to finish this trilogy. So, A Time of Courage by John Gwynne. The Demon King Azeroth is free of his iron prison, and the whole of the banished lands stands on the brink of domination. With the Ben Elim broken and routed, half-breed Riv and a small band of comrades must try to find a way to strike at the demon forces. Meanwhile, Drem is with the other Order of the Bright Star on a desperate march south to join the battle. He fears that they will find what they will find along the way, even as he knows it is better to fight and fall than to live without hope. Okay, and then will this be the last roll? Yes, okay. So we're ending on the challenge board with a 10, so a 6 and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Outfit again. All right, and the last prompt that I landed on was another outfit. So again, inspired by the outfit I'm wearing. I'm going heavily with the blue theme on this one. And so for this one, I'm going with my other library book, and this one is Deadly Depths. So as you can see, it's blue. Hey, and it's on the beach. And the beach is water, whether it's a beachside lake or an ocean beach. But either way, there's water. But blue is the main thing I'm going with. So this is written by John F. Dobbin. And yeah, let's see. It says, a notable architect close to finding a priceless artifact meets his untimely demise. Matthew Shane vows to find his murderer. Matthew Shane is a law professor in Salem, Massachusetts, where he enjoys a rewarding mentorship from Professor Barrington Holmes, a well-known archaeologist. So, when Professor Holmes is found dead in his office and the police rule it a suicide, something doesn't sit right with Matthew. He becomes determined to find the true cause of Holmes's death and bring closure to his widow. Matthew soon learns that Professor Holmes belonged to a group of notable archaeologists dubbed the Monkey's Paw, who were all entangled in an expedition to find an unknown object of unprecedented historical and financial value. Each member had been given one piece of the instructions to find the object. But some of the men had encountered horrific twists of fate before the group could reunite to continue their search. Joining forces with the remaining members, Matthew's quest for the cause of the apparent curse of the Monkey's Paw leads him on a global-wide goose chase that culminates in a turn of events not even Professor Holmes could have predicted. So that is it. Those are the books. There's only 11. So, is that enough? That's the smallest TBR I've ever gotten. You know what? Just for kicks and giggles, let's go ahead and do a booktube poll. Because I just can't have a round without this. I just can't. I love doing this so much. Okay. I'm put that one back in there because I don't see if you saw me draw it. So, okay. We're going to go with this one. So putting this down. And this next grouping of prompts will be from Tash from Tash's library. Okay, so, whoop, almost dropped the paper. So I'm putting the lid back on that. This will go in my little trinket tray. Okay. Tash's library. Here we go. Okay, so the most recent TBR game is January. So I will watch Tash's TBR game. I'll write down the prompts and then I'll come back with what prompts she got, as well as the books that I picked, and then I will link her channel and the description and the video that I based this grouping off of. So I will be right back. Alright, so I have watched Tash's January TBR game. She ended up with 10 rolls, so 10 books. On my 11 books, that will mean for my spring TBR, so again, this is for a whole season, so spring will be March, April, and May. That's 21 books. Totally doable. And again, these are the books that I will prioritize for March, April, and May. Whatever I don't get to in March, you know, etc. So I'll try to pull from those first before I pull from other areas in my room. So the first prompt that Tash landed on was a random tarot card. So I'm just going to pull, this is Cat Tarot. This is Cat Tarot. So I only use this tarot deck for booktube games. So if someone's doing a random tarot thing, or if they put a random tarot as a prompt on a readathon, then I can pull this, because the random tarot generators I've been able to find online, I really do not like the designs of. I kind of think they're ugly, and so I wanted something that I would actually like, so I only use this for that. So let's go ahead and shuffle these a little bit. So Tash used the random generator, and even the card that she ended up getting, I didn't like the design of. I just, not aesthetically pleasing to me. I didn't care for it. So, and where I love cats, I like, you know, I figured I'd like this one. So let's go kind of right smack in the middle here. Let's go with this one if I can get it. Okay. Oh, I could go with something with fire on the cover. Queen of Wands, or my fallback is always a book with a cat on the cover, because every single one of these cards has cats. So that's it. This one has a lion's head on the cover. Maybe something that has wooden logs, you know, because it's got a lion's head there. It has a log there. It has the word wand in it because it's the Queen of Wands. So I could go with a wand, or something with a magical system because of a wand. Queen could go with something more fantasy that has to do, or historical, that has some kind of royalty in it. But I could also go with the meaning. So let me find Queen of Wands. Swords, Cups, Wands. Here we go. 8, 9, Queen. Here we go. The Queen of Wands exudes confidence. She is a seer, strong, capable, vibrant, fearless, and ambitious, no matter how sleepy she may look. So maybe a kick-ass female character, a badass, whatever, however you want to phrase it. A strong female lead. I could also go with that. Okay, so I am back. So for Queen of Wands, I'm going with Queen in the title. And my selection was Court of the Vampire Queen by Katie Robert. All Minerva ever wanted was to escape her father's control. Half human, half vampire, she lived eternally torn between two worlds, never fully experiencing the pleasures of either, until her father chose her as the pawn in his latest political move, gifting her to the darkly powerful, or gifting her, excuse me, not grifting, gifting her to the darkly powerful and dangerously seductive Malachi Zion. Malachi is not a vampire to be trifled with. He rules with an iron fist and has a reputation for the darkest of sins. But the longer Mina is with him, the more she realizes he's not the monster she first thought. And as fear bleeds into lust, then trust, then something more, Malachi opens Mina up to a world she never knew could be hers for the taking, including the love of Malachi's two closest friends and companions. Now, surrounded by all three men, the center of their shockingly seductive world, Mina may finally have the power to face down her father and take back her life and crown that by all rights should be hers. Okay, so the next one that Tash got was a bookworm game. I have never heard of this, and so she showed it in the video and played the game, and so I'm going with the prompt that Tash got while playing this particular game. And the prompt was words with the card said 4 or less, and Tash is right, it should be 4 or fewer, 4 or fewer letters. So I'm going with a book. This has 4 words on the cover, or 4 words in the title. Each word is 4 letters or less. So word number 1 is 2 letters, word number 3 is 3, word number 4 is 4 letters, and word number 4 is 2 letters. And the book that I selected for this is On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. 16-year-old Bree wants to be one of the greatest rappers of all time. Rappers of all time. Or at least win her first battle. As the daughter of an underground hip-hop legend who died right before he hit big, Bree's got massive shoes to fill. But it's hard to get your come up when you're labeled a hoodlum at school and your fridge at home is empty after your mom loses her job. So Bree pours her anger and frustration into her first song, which goes viral, for all the wrong reasons. Bree soon finds herself at the center of a controversy, portrayed by the media as more menace than MC. But with an eviction notice staring her family down, Bree doesn't just want to make it, she has to. Even if it means becoming the very thing the public has made her out to be. Okay, so On the Come Up. Okay, the next prompt that Tash got was a book with nature on the cover. So for this one, I'm going to go with The Quiet Tenant by Clemence Michallon. It's hard to see here, but it's a cabin basically in the woods, and so there's a bunch of trees back here. It is hard to see. The cover is dark, but there are trees. Aiden Thomas, a recent widower raising his 13-year-old daughter Cecilia, is a beloved figure in his small upstate New York town. The kind of neighbor who always lends a hand and has a good word for everyone. Aiden also has a dark secret. He's a kidnapper and a serial killer. He's murdered 8 women, and there's a 9th marked for death. Rachel, imprisoned for 5 years in a backyard shed. When he and Cecilia have to move, Aiden has no choice but to bring Rachel along, introducing her to Cecilia as a family friend who needs a place to stay. Aiden is betting that Rachel will be too brainwashed and fearful to attempt an escape. But Rachel is a fighter, and she sees in Cecilia the lifeline she's waited for all these years, and in Emily, the local restaurant owner newly interested in Aiden, either an ally or his next victim. Both, and then it's saying that this is a searing thriller and astute study of trauma. So, The Quiet Tenant. Okay, this next prompt is random song. So I am going to go to my Amazon Music. Okay, I'm just gonna hit, let me try just hitting this shuffle. Okay, so that came up with Control by Halsey, I'm guessing is how that is said. So it says, they send me away to find them a fortune. So I could go with something that goes along with those vibes. It has kind of dark undertones to it, so maybe a dark book is what I could go with. Something with shadows and monsters. The house was awake, the shadows and monsters. The hallways, they echoed and groaned. So maybe like a spooky book. Let's see. I sat alone in bed till morning. I'm crying. They're coming for me. Trying to hold secrets, a deadly disease, I'm bigger than my body, I'm colder than this home, I'm stronger than my demons, I'm bigger than these bones. Okay. This is probably going to take some creativity. I'm sure I can come up with something. Okay, so I think I found one that I can make work. So it gives dark vibes, and the book I have is definitely going to have darker themes in it. So as a reminder, it says, they send me away to find them a fortune. And this one, according to the synopsis, people can get sent away for whatever they're experiencing in this particular book. I don't know anything about diamonds and gold in this. The house was awake. The shadows and monsters, the hallways, they echo and groaned. I sat alone in the bed till the morning. I'm crying, they're coming for me. And I tried to hold these secrets inside me. And you'll get this vibe kind of, I got the vibe when I read the synopsis. So, my mind's like a deadly disease. I'm bigger than my body. I'm colder than this home. I'm meaner than my demons. I'm bigger than these bones. And all the kids cried out, please stop, you're scaring me. I can't help this awful energy. You should be scared of me. Who is in control? So, and then it just kind of continues on. So I'm going to go with Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Fresh from a brief stay at a psych hospital, reporter Camille Preaker faces a troubling assignment. She must return to her tiny hometown to cover the murders of two preteen girls. For years, Camille has hardly spoken to her neurotic, hypochondriac mother, or to the half-sister she barely knows, a beautiful 13-year-old with an eerie grip on the town. Now, installed in her bedroom in her family's Victorian mansion, Camille finds herself identifying with the young victims a bit too strongly. Dogged by her own demons, she must unravel the psychological puzzle of her own past if she wants to get the story and survive this homecoming. So I think it fits the vibes and some of the key elements of the song. Next prompt is punctuation in the title. So for this one, I'm going with the ampersand sign. I was not positive. I did ask my little echo device and it says yes. It is considered a punctuation mark, which I guess it can be. I'm just second guessing myself. So I'm going to go with Onyx and Ivory by Mindee Arnett. They call her Traitor Kate. It's a title Kate Brighton inherited from her father after he tried to assassinate the High King of Rhyme. Cast out of the nobility, she now works for the Royal Courier Service. Only the most skilled ride for the relay, and only the fastest survive. For when night falls, the night drakes, deadly, flightless dragons, come out to hunt. Fortunately, Kate has a secret edge. She's a wilder, born with forbidden magic that allows her to influence the minds of animals. And it's this magic that leads her to a caravan massacred by drakes in broad daylight. The only survivor, Corwin Tremaine, the son of the king, her first love, the boy she swore to forget after he condemned her father to death. With their paths once more entangled, Kate and Corwin must put the past behind them to face this new threat of drakes who attack in the daylight and the darker menace behind them. So, next up is a one-word title. For this one, I'm going with book number 2 in a trilogy, as I'm really wanting to get back into this world, and that is Torn by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Everything Ivy Morgan thought she knew has been turned on its head. After being betrayed by nearly killed by the Prince of the Fae, she's left bruised and devastated, and with an earth-shattering secret that she must keep at all costs. And if the Order finds out her secret, they'll kill her. Then there's Ren Owens, the sexy, tattooed, elite member of the Order who has been sharing Ivy's bed and claiming her heart. Their chemistry is smoking hot, but Ivy knows that Ren has always valued his duty to the Order above all else. He could never touch her if he knew the truth. That is, if he let her live at all. Yet how can she live with herself if she lies to him? But as the Fae Prince begins to close in, intent on permanently opening the gates to the other world, Ivy is running out of options. If she doesn't figure out who she can trust, and fast, it's not only her heart that will be torn apart. The next prompt was friend pick. So for this one, I'm going with a book that my mom has recently read. And she loved it. And she keeps telling me, she goes, Christine, you need to read this. Christine, you really, really need to read this. Christine, you need to read this, over and over. So I'm going to read it. I'm finally going to read it. She just read this like last month. So not even a full month ago. And that book that she is trying to get me to read is Fahrenheit 451. So I'm going with this one by Ray Bradbury. Let's see. Guy Montag is a fireman. His job is to destroy the most illegal of commodities, the printed book, along with the houses in which they are hidden. Montag never questions the destruction and ruin his actions produce, returning each day to his bland life and wife, Mildred, who spends all day with her television family. But when he meets an eccentric young neighbor, Clarice, who introduces him to a past where people didn't live in fear, and to a present where one sees the world through the ideas in books instead of the mindless chatter of television, Montag begins to question everything he has ever known. So the next prompt that Tash got was another bookworm game. So the prompt that she ended up getting with this was a little trickier, and like Tash, I'm going with particular words in the title of the book. So the prompt that was generated on this one was how my mother-in-law should not be. So more negative words you wouldn't want. Well, I'll just tell you the book that I picked, and that is Murderer, She Knit. My mother-in-law, if I ever get a mother-in-law, should not be a murderer. So that's what I'm going with. This is the first in a Cozy Mystery series. The Cozy Mystery series is a knit and nibble mystery written by Peggy Ehrhart. Since her only daughter left for college, widow Pamela Patterson has kept busy as associate editor of a craft magazine and founder of the Knit and Nibble Knitting Club in quaint Arborville, New Jersey. Now she's trying out a new hobby, solving murders. Pamela is hosting the next Knit and Nibble meeting and can't wait to liven up her otherwise empty home with colorful yarn, baking, and a little harmless gossip. She even recruits Amy Morgan, an old friend who recently moved to town, as the group's newest member. But on the night of the gathering, Amy doesn't show. Not until Pamela finds the woman dead outside, a knitting needle stabbed through the front of her handmade sweater. Someone committed murder before taking off with Amy's knitting bag, and Pamela realizes that only she can spot the deadly details hidden in mysterious skeins. But when another murder occurs, naming the culprit and living to spin the tale will be more difficult than Pamela ever imagined. Prompt number 9 was a mythological creature on the cover. I'm going to go with a dragon, and I'm going with Heartstone. It's the title separated there, but right here it's one word. So if you're looking for a title with one word, I would say this is one word. Why it's separated into 2 separate words on the main cover, I don't know. But it says, All's Fair in Love and Dragonfire. This is written by L. Catherine White. Passionate, headstrong, Eliza Bentain knows this all too well. She's already lost... I missed an entire sentence, so let me start that over. They say a rider in possession of a good blade must be in want of a monster to slay, and Marybourne Manor has plenty of monsters. Passionate, headstrong, Eliza Bentain knows this all too well. She's already lost one sister to the invading griffins. So when the people of Marybourne Manor scrape together the funds to hire a band of riders to hunt down the horde, Eliza is relieved her sister will soon be avenged. Her relief is short-lived. With the arrival of the haughty and handsome dragon rider Alistair Dared, Eliza expects a battle. What she doesn't anticipate is a romantic clash of wills, pitting word and wit against the pride of an ancient house. Nor does she anticipate the mystery that haunts from the Marybourne Manor, with its roots running deep as its foundations of the kingdom itself, where something old and dreadful slumbers, something far more sinister than griffins. It's a war Eliza is ill-prepared to wage on a battlefield she's never known before, one spanning kingdoms, class lines, and the curious nature of her own heart. It says this is an infused elements of Jane Austen's beloved Pride and Prejudice, with the author's own playful brand of magic. So, Pride and Prejudice, magicified and dragonified. So Tash ended up, she was going to do 9 prompts, but ended up doing 10. And I think that was just a miscalculation on the rolls. Like, I think she did number 8 twice. But anyway, so a total of 10 prompts. And the final prompt for this one, not the official prompt, but just kind of an extra prompt, was a fantasy. And I'm going to go with a middle grade fantasy on this one. I've read one book by this author and really enjoyed it, so I would like to get into this more of this author's work. And the author is Sophie Anderson. And the book the book that I read was The House with Chicken Legs. And this one is The Girl Who Speaks Bear. This is a middle grade fantasy, and so it should be a fairly quick read. Let's see. They call me Yanka the Bear, not because of where I was found. Only a few people know about that. Found abandoned in a bear cave as a baby, Yanka has always wondered where she is from. She tries to ignore the strange whispers and looks from the villagers, wishing she was as strong inside as she is on the outside. When Yanka has to flee her house looking for answers about who she really is, a journey far beyond everything she ever imagined begins. From icy rivers to smoldering mountains, meeting an ever-growing herd of extraordinary friends along the way. So that is it. So this stack here in the front is from Tash's Game. Let me know, have you read any of these books? Have you read from any of these authors? Is there a book that you particularly did not enjoy or that you absolutely loved? Definitely let me know. And do you do seasonal reads? So are you a seasonal reader? I know there are people that do read along with the seasons. So in spring, I do know that there are some people that read more romance. Are you one of those? Definitely let me know. I'd be interested to know your thoughts. Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.